How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
New Vitamin Water Zero Sugar Pineapple Passion Fruit is packed with vitamins. Just like the amount of peas we packed in that sentence. It's packed like your tote bag. The one you stole from your ex. Or your overpriced half a studio apartment. Or extra rushed rush hour traffic. Packed like your calendar. Triple booked at 5, of course. Grab a Vitamin Water. Did we mention it's packed with vitamins?
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
This is Fish Jelly.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. How are you?
Okay. Okay, I recently discovered a YouTube channel called This Aged Great. And the description of the channel, stand-up comedian Ben Moore defends a movie from the past that hasn't aged well while explaining the plot to his much younger friend, Jordan Elias, who hasn't seen it. Hilarity ensues. So I've been listening to this podcast for a couple days now, and I had you listen to a couple things.
Yeah, I've heard you cackling in here.
Mm-hmm. The younger counterpart, he contributes a little bit, but he's basically laughing.
He's like the audience laugh.
And I find his laugh infectious. I can see how some people might find it annoying.
No, he has a nice laugh.
Yeah, I mean, but they're so funny. But I wanted to bring up two, one video in particular, but then another comment they made that I laughed about all day. The first is they reviewed a movie called Tim
with Piper Laurie and Mel Gibson.
And it's from 1980.
I thought it was 79.
Oh, 79. Yeah.
I think it's based on a book by the same lady that wrote The Outsiders, right? I think it's S.E. Hinton.
And I've seen it.
Yeah, we watched that
a while ago. But for people who don't know, it's basically about this very attractive young man who clearly, he's painted as a simpleton.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say he suffers from like some sort of cognitive delay.
Mm-hmm.
And Piper Laurie plays a much older woman who seems to be attracted to him. Mm-hmm. And he starts doing like yard work for her. Mm-hmm. And then Mel Gibson's character's mom dies. And then it's clear that like he's going to need help taking care of himself. So guess who steps in? Piper Laurie. And how does she do this? By marrying him. So it's all very strange. But I have been laughing since last night because, you know, obviously Mel Gibson in 1970, whatever, is very attractive. And it's set in Australia. And of course, it's warm. So his character's always either shirtless or wearing a tank top and then always wearing short shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that they said that sent me is they were talking about like these short shorts this man is wearing. And Ben referred to them as David Daisy Dukes. And for people who don't know, David Duke is a former Louisiana politician who was also
a white supremacist,
a grand wizard for the Ku Klux Klan.
I believe he's portrayed by Topher Grace in Black Klansman, right?
So, but for some reason, David Daisy Dukes had me laughing all night long. Mm-hmm. And then there's a movie with Judge Reinhold and Tom Hanks and Tawny Katane, and I think it's called
Bachelor Party?
Yes, The Bachelor Party.
I've never seen that.
I haven't seen it either, but they were talking about Tawny Katane, and then Ben tells Elias, oh, you know, Tawny means brown, like a shade of brown, and Katane is a baby cat. And I laughed about Katane being a baby cat.
Brown cat.
From the time I picked up my coffee this morning until I finished it.
Brown baby cat.
A brown baby cat.
That's like Madchen Amek's name to me, because in German it means girlfriend. But
Tawny Katane is a nice name.
She's dead now, huh?
Oh.
I think she's dead.
Anyhow, I was introduced to that channel recently, and I think they're a lot of fun. Okay, moving on to 5 on the Black Hand side, 5 Black filmmakers who are not Tyler Perry. Who's first?
Let's do Benny Boom, who, the cat's licking at me. Benny Boom, you are familiar with his film Next Day Air, I believe,
Mhm.
because we watched that together. God, that was 2009, many a moon ago, with Mos Def and Mike Epps and Donald Faison.
Also, the Tupac movie.
That's the next thing I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, All Eyes on Me. I watched that alone, and we do happen to own that on Blu-ray. But I don't know that you've seen that. Have you?
I have. And I'm not sure where, but I'm familiar because who plays Jada Pinkett?
Well, Jada Pinkett was mad about that.
Yeah. So I know I've seen it because of that.
I would say that's not like the greatest, but I mean, Cat Graham from who we know from Tyler Perry's Duplicity, correct?
Yes.
Anyhow,
Benny Boone's also done a ton of music videos that I'm very familiar with.
Oh, yes. So, he's probably better known for that than as a film director, but there you go. I think All Eyes on Me was 2017 now and was not very well received. So maybe that's why we haven't seen more from him. But yeah. Next on the list I have Kevin Hooks, who you might remember. He was an actor first as well. He was in the film Inner Space from 1987. But he also directed many films, including I would call it a classic Wesley Snipes action film called Passenger 57. If you remember that at all. No.
Oh, you know what I just thought of? The Wesley Snipes, Malcolm Jamal Warner film.
No, which we just watched because he passed away. But no, this is around that same period, though.
Kevin Hooks directed Fled?
Yes, and
because we keep seeing that on Amazon Prime.
I know, with Lawrence Fishburne, and I've never seen that.
Yes.
And a lesser Baldwin. I think Steven. And then he directed. I remember my mom renting this because my mom did have a thing for Patrick Swayze, but I don't remember this film.
Shocking.
I don't know that I watched it. Black Dog with it's a trucker thriller movie, I think, with Patrick Swayze. I want to say
that sounds good.
It's like 1998. I want to say Meatloaf might be in that too. I'd have to double check.
Ooh, what's the movie with Kurt Russell where he's like chasing someone who kidnapped his wife?
Breakdown with Kathleen Quinlan.
Yeah.
Breakdown's pretty good. They had a Kurt marathon at the Drafthouse. What was that, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, we got a hat.
We got a hat, and I gave it to my mother for a present. Somebody had sent this person. You sent me the Wikipedia page for this person saying we should cover him on the Five on the Black Hand Side, but he's an actor, not a director. But it led me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. But the person I'm talking about is Clarence Muse.
Yes,
who was born
who has a million credits.
Yes, because he was born in 1889 and he died in 1979. His last movie was The Black Stallion, which that was a series of books I never got into. Anyway, so he was in all kinds of things, and there are a couple of film noirs he's in that I just couldn't make time to watch this week, but I will. He starred in Buck and the Preacher with Belafonte and Sidney Poitier, which was Poitier's debut, of course. He has a part in Car Wash, but looking through his filmography, he was in this film called Passing Through, which is really hard to get a hold of, and I have been unsuccessful in finding it. But it's about a jazz musician who is released from prison and kind of joins the revolution. And that's directed by and starring Nathaniel Taylor, who I'll get to again in a moment. But directed by somebody named Larry Clark, who I was unfamiliar with before this week. And not white Larry Clark, who directed Kids and Ken Park and other and Bully. This is black Larry Clark, and he was part of the...
Blark.
Paul Blark. Larry Blark. He was one of the directors that was part of what's called the LA Rebellion, and he only directed 3 things. And Passing Through, I think, which was never properly released, is hard to find, but it shows here and there, and usually in New York or at certain retrospectives. But I was able to find a copy of another film by Larry Clark called As Above, So Below, which also stars Nathaniel Taylor, who's in a couple of other things in the period. But it is, I'd call it a medium-length film, but I'd say it's well worth watching, especially if you like something by The Spook Who Sat by the Door, which we have a podcast for as well. but it feels a little bit more experimental and hard to define because it's not a linear film. It starts out in 1945 with this 15-year-old kid, and then he kind of grows up to this man played by Taylor who has served in Vietnam and is basically headhunted by this Black rebellion group and they're planning to do something, which they don't get very far because it's only an hour into the film. But it's a mixture of all kinds of other things, and it is juxtaposed with this cafe where a man is seated, a Black man is seated talking about kind of trying to convince himself and the others in the cafe, including the woman working, that white America is done fine by him. And then we have all of this omniscient, like, news broadcast narration by a white person talking about ghettoized Black America, and some very interesting sound bites in there. But I'd say this is well worth your time, and I really need to find Pushing Through. But yeah, that was kind of an exciting discovery to whoever was pushing Clarence Muse at us, because there's a lot of interesting things in his filmography.
Jackie up in Seattle is the one who recommended.
There you go. Okay, next. I swore that I've talked about her before in this section, but I couldn't find a record of it. But Leslie Harris, the director of Just Another Girl on the IRT.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
I don't know why I bypassed her after all these weeks and weeks and weeks of doing this, but I mean, it's her only film of note. She directed one other thing that's a documentary, but really it's just this, which seems really depressing because that's actually, I think, a stellar debut film. And we have a review out there for that.
Yes.
Because there was one Black History Month where I think we did a bunch of extra reviews of films directed by Black women, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
And then last for this week on Five on the Black Hand Side, I wouldn't say he's a favorite filmmaker, but he's interesting and has some interesting things in his filmography. Salim Akil, who you're familiar with his two major films, Jumping the Broom,
Oof.
with your favorite Paula Patton, and Sparkle.
Oh, with Whitney.
The remake, Whitney's swan song.
Yes, the remake.
The remake, not Irene Cara's Sparkle, directed by Sam Osteen.
Sister and her sisters.
Sister and her sisters, yeah.
With good old Jordan Sparks.
I mean, Jordan Sparks. I much prefer the original. I quite like Irene Cara in that. And it's gritty and has a nice 70s flavor. And yes, it was directed by a white man, Sam
And
Osteen.
the soundtrack.
But the remake's fine. I mean, it's something you have to see if you like Whitney, because there are very few.
Honestly, I don't even remember. The only thing I remember from the 2012 Sparkle are Got to Be Real, the web series. They used a lot of clips of Whitney from Sparkle.
Of course.
Like her doing press for Sparkle.
Uh-huh.
So that's all I actually remember from that movie is Whitney's press being used in Got to Be Real.
I remember it being kind of sleepy. I remember Omari Hardwick, but
I'm looking at the cast. I don't remember Tika Sumpter in it. I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember Tika, but it's not good, but they tried. But yeah, that's this section for this week.
Thank you for that. Okay, moving on to the restaurant section. So we learned a lesson this past week.
We did.
Regarding hash browns in the toaster.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I might have started that.
You did.
Because I mean, it's been years now that I realized, it occurred to me, I can just put those toasters that are in the shape of, or the hash browns that are in the shape of the McDonald's hash browns, buy them at the grocery store and then just pop them in the toaster.
Mm-hmm.
And, they usually take a couple cycles to really get crispy like I like. But that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I burned the hell out of them. Mm-hmm.
And then one day last week, I think it was Sunday, I was gone, I think, for the day. Or
you were?
I don't know. Oh, no, I had fallen asleep. I had taken my mid-morning nap.
Sleepy time. Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up, you were telling me that you had to clean the toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I happened to look over and there was this primordial looking ooze coming out from under the toaster. And I was like, what the fuck? What is that? And then to my horror, I took out that little thing and I can't believe we've been living in the same house with that machine and that shit was in there.
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
So
actually.
apparently there's a lot of oil in those hash browns.
Oh yeah, and yet, which, stupid me, like I wasn't thinking about that at all, but I don't know how.
That shit. So then that toast is probably what, 3 years old?
We probably moved with it, which
maybe it's like 4 or 5 years
but
old.
I mean, we cleaned it when we moved. With, out of the detritus that was in the trap.
Yeah, so we haven't cleaned it in like 3 years. So, I mean, I'm just being honest.
There's a lot of hash browns that went there. I mean, it's not like hash browns like in Night Bitch where she's doing them every morning, but
But you pulled out that tray. What was in that tray looked like scabs. Like a mountain of scabs, because it was all the crust, like breadcrumbs, everything congealed with the oil from the hash browns, and it was all burned.
There was so much oil. I mean, so what's the depth of that trap? Like it was completely full.
I think that's a fire hazard.
Oh yeah.
I think we should have just thrown that toast. I wouldn't have cleaned the toaster. I would have just thrown it away and bought another one.
Oh,
but you cleaned it.
I wasn't raised that way. We were always told to make everything work. But you're probably right. We should probably buy a new one. But it's clean now.
Well, if someone wants to send a toaster to our P.O. box, you can. It needs to be stainless steel, nothing cheap.
Well, I've made hash browns since then, and I've resorted to the stovetop. So,
okay, we tried a couple of new places.
Uh-huh.
So, a place on Sunset in Hollywood called Hoi Ka, the original Hoi Ka Thai noodle restaurant, which is next to a restaurant we really like called ILXB.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we walked by it a million times. And for people who know Hollywood a little bit, if you remember that Arby's on Sunset, which has since closed down, but they kept the restaurant signage up,
Mm-hmm.
it's next to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also next to the Linden, that fancy soul food restaurant.
Yes.
So we were hungry and we were in the neighborhood. So we went in there. What did you think of your food?
I really liked it. I would love to go back. I like the ambiance. The name of the restaurant means dangling leg, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Because
and the seating style is such.
Yeah.
Because they're all kind of high tops.
They have lower things too, but we opted to sit there. I really liked the vibe. I liked my food. When people, I always like things spicy. That shit was the right spice. It was, I was sweating. I loved it.
I think you liked it more than I did, but I would definitely go back.
I will go back.
And I will say I ordered something, their fresh spring rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came out, you were like, oh, so you just ordered like a lettuce, because it just looked like a bunch of leafy whatever wrapped in rice paper.
That kind of was it, yeah.
But it was actually really good because it had quite a bit of basil,
Mm-hmm.
and then that peanut dressing.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a very healthy like snack.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed that. And then we ordered, I don't even remember, but it was,
I think
spicy.
some drunken noodles. Well, next time I know we'll get one thing, because if you're going to talk about the other noodle place we went to, I did make an effort to. I got the man was like, "You want a spicy?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, like spicy or Chinese spicy?" I'm like, "Chinese spicy. What do you think I am?"
Well, what was that restaurant?
That was when we ate that at Freaky Year Friday.
Oh, well, we've already talked about that place,
We
but
have.
it's that really, it's in the Grove food court, that noodle shop.
Uh-huh.
And I know people didn't like when I said I'll eat in the theater, but I will eat in the theater.
Well, we totally did.
But we had a double feature. That was the day we saw Weapons and Freakier Friday back to back
with June Diane Raphael.
So there was no time to get food, so we had to just bring it into the theater.
There was, and why were? Because I was straight up buzzed up before Freakier Friday, and I was trying to recall why we drank so much, but because. So we walk out of Weapons, we get our seats for Freakier Friday, and then I go procure us food because, I'm usually the procurer. And I walked out into that sun and I was like, damn, I'm drunk, I think. And then I ordered this food, the Chinese spicy. I got you something a little less spicy. And then I was walking back and I spied with my little eye Nicholas Winding Refn.
Oh, that's right.
Who's tall in person. And, I was feeling saucy, I guess, but I was squinting at him like, girl, I know who you are. And he's squinted back at me.
Oh.
And then I ran into something. Very Liz Taylor Klutz moment, but yeah.
Then we tried this place on La Brea and like Wilshire called Met Him at a Bar.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a sister restaurant called Met Her at a Bar. And that's like a breakfast place, which actually, now that I think about it, I should have tried to go there this morning. But we went to Met Him at a Bar. What did you think of that place?
I liked it. We went for happy hour basically, and they have freshly made pasta, which is always exciting to me. And I guess it was a noodle theme week, huh? And I liked it. I would probably
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
With the Walmart app, you can squeeze in those final days of summer and nail that back-to-school shopping list. So keep working on that tan and let Walmart Express Delivery handle the rest. Chromebooks, Clorox wipes, Sharpies, glue sticks, pens, pencils, and more. All delivered in as fast as an hour. So pour yourself another iced tea. Summer's not over. Last-minute back-to-school supplies delivered fast. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new. Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
wanted to order something off the regular menu.
That pasta, I mean, that wasn't the best pasta I've had.
It was fine.
I ordered a tuna salad sandwich because it looked interesting. And I have to say, it was the most interesting tuna salad sandwich I've had because it had a lot of pickled carrots and like a hard-boiled egg
sliced,
in it, sliced. And then it was, of course, albacore tuna. And
of course,
I really liked it. It was a $20 tuna salad sandwich, but I really liked it.
Well, I got their spaghetti pomodoro, whatever. It was like $15, I want to say, on their happy hour menu. You know, I knew that was just gonna be plain spaghetti, so I also got their happy hour meatball, which was $6. And I don't know if I think that meatball was worth $6, but
I think I didn't love it. Like, I think for happy hour I would go again.
I would want to try their pizza.
Yeah, I mean, you can try their pizza, but the other thing is parking in that area is complicated because it's a lot of residential parking, so you can't park after 6. So I think going for happy hour is kind of perfect. Like if you get there at 4:30, because then you can easily park, and then as long as you move your car by 6, you're good to go. So I think that's like a decent place to go before a movie, like a 7 o'clock screening maybe. And then we tried. So we went to see a movie called Strange Harvest at the Alamo Drafthouse downtown, and they were having like a mixer before. And so I figured, we're going to be drinking, so we should probably eat something before we watch the movie. And so we found this Chinese restaurant across the street from the Alamo Drafthouse.
First we went to...
Bottega Louie, which I know they maybe like 2 years ago opened up that location in WeHo. Maybe more than that. It's been open since before the pandemic.
We've never been in there to the WeHo
because I didn't like the Bottega Louie downtown.
No, because I think a friend, we don't talk to this person anymore, but I think that person said it was their favorite place to eat in downtown LA, and they brought us. They didn't have a reservation, so we got stuck in the front part with those teeny tables, and I think we felt it was a miserable experience then.
You know, I think I've learned to not trust people's restaurant recommendations if they don't give me specific details on food and pricing. In the sense, not because I'm trying to be cheap. I think some people just want to recommend trendy places, and they have no concern for whether or not it's comfortable, if it's overpriced or not, if the food is garbage.
Well, it is LA, so yeah.
So when I say food and prices, I mean like because you're more concerned about the actual dinner than like the fact that
and who might see putting things in my mouth. So
I think that Bottega Louie downtown is so raggedy. First of all, the space, it's like really open, so it's super echoey and loud.
The acoustics are terrible.
Then all of the seating, it's like Parisian cafe style two two tops everywhere.
But inside, so
But
no
inside-
fun because there's no pigeon shitting on
and
it.
it's ugly as hell. It's so ugly inside. And
God.
no, it is. And then you're so like, I hate like, so we're going to spend $150 on dinner for two, and all our food is crammed onto this little two plates don't even fit on the table.
That's true. Well,
I hate that.
There was no one in the restaurant proper, and we opted for happy hour. And
Because it was early.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, you can't sit back here. Then you have to sit in the bar area with those teeny tiny tables. So we sat, and we sat there for 10 minutes.
And you know me, I get antsy really fast.
Mhm.
Like if no one's going to greet me, I'm leaving.
Uh-huh.
But we waited longer than I normally would.
Yeah, we did.
And no one showed up.
No.
So we just got up and left.
Mhm.
So then we ended up going to this Chinese restaurant across the street from the Alamo Drafthouse called Northern Cafe.
Which I know we've seen before, and we've skipped over so many times because it's a Chinese dumpling house. I believe that's a chain, actually. And it's just not something you probably prefer to have.
But I have to say, I would probably make that my like pre-movie dinner spot downtown.
I'd like it better than Joey downtown LA for sure.
Or what's that other one? Volcano.
I'm not crazy about Volcano. No.
Because those are the two main options next to Alamo Drafthouse.
Mhm.
But first of all, there was only one person working, a very nice young man.
Yes.
Who was very attentive.
Although we almost walked out of there too.
He might have been in the back using the bathroom.
I think he was working alone. So
yeah.
But we stood for a minute, and then you were about to leave. I'm like, no, hold on. And he came running out.
But it was happy hour. They have a really good happy hour. Pretty much the bar is 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ordered, because there's a chain called Dan Dan.
Mm-hmm. I love Dan Dan. Mm-hmm.
And they have their beef rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And so this restaurant had them, but they were served differently because the beef at Northern Cafe in the beef roll is cold.
But the centipede was hot.
So everything else, like the wrapping and everything was hot, but the beef is cold. And I have to say, it was different, but I really liked it so much that I thought that it would make a perfect sandwich.
It was pretty good.
Like I would just order that and then take it with me for lunch and just eat it cold.
Because the main thing, I think, because we never tried it, they're known for they're a dumpling house. Next time we'll try some dumplings, but we got their orange chicken because that's always a safe bet, and that was real regular schmegular. I wouldn't get that again there.
No, I mean it was comparable to me to like the orange chicken you buy at Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything special.
Like, we shouldn't.
And then we got scallion pancakes, and those were good.
Those are fine. I didn't, I had to make my own hot and spicy sauce, which is the best. I think my favorite scallion pancakes are IXLB because of the little hot chili oil they give us.
But yeah, I would definitely go back there again. It's just convenient. Mm-hmm. So if you see a movie in downtown LA at 7, I would recommend going, get to Northern Cafe at like 5, because their happy hour ends at 6. So load up on your little drinks, order some food, and just walk back to go see a little movie.
Park at the block, get validated. They were having some trouble with the ticket validation at that event. I didn't realize, I never assumed that I'm going to get free shit because that's just not my style. But I was pleasantly surprised that the mixer was an open bar.
Well, which was very nice too, because we really liked Strange Harvest.
Well, because I was feeling guilty ahead of time because I'm like, I hate, that's a smart thing to do for the press you should make them comfortable. You should wine and dine them because they're probably going to be more favorable. But if I'm going to be giving my authentic opinion, I didn't like something, like already I was dreading seeing the movie because I'm like, I'm going to feel so bad. I hate this.
Because I drank all these people's liquor.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I would recommend people check out Strange Harvest.
And they had little Bismarcks, raspberry-filled Bismarcks.
Yeah, they had like branded donuts.
And you know what?
They were really good because they were cut. So they were the jelly filled donuts, and the jelly was like, what was it, like raspberry?
Probably raspberry for
blood.
blood.
But the chocolate was like, the quality of the chocolate on top of the donut was like a notch above your normal donut shop chocolate.
Well, they tasted very fresh too, like they were made that day.
Well, they had, they did taste fresh. So that was a nice experience. Okay, moving on. There is something in the sorry to this man section. I had said in the review for Together that Alison Brie's character probably got contaminated
From semen?
from her husband's bodily fluids, but then many people pointed out that
Yeah, she did.
she drank the gay guy's water.
She did, but that makes also I don't understand. Does he do that to every coworker? I guess I didn't understand the MO of that character then, which is probably why we were confused because.
Well, I assumed that he wanted everyone to experience what he had experienced.
Sure, I think I just needed a little more to understand.
Sure, but that doesn't negate the fact that
the community
she was
building.
Exposed to that water.
Yes,
prior to.
Yes,
so.
but I think that's kind of why we both missed out on that. And then I think that I didn't go back and verify that I said this, but did I refer to Weapons as Zach Cregger's sophomore film? Because it is not his second film; it's like his third or fourth. But to me, he'll always be new to me at Barbarian. So in my mind. So I know I probably effed up and said that wrong.
Films released we didn't cover: My Mother's Wedding.
So I watched this yesterday. We were going to cover it, but we just didn't. And I'd say you dodged a bullet.
No good. I
thought this was so blah. It's the directorial debut of Kristen Scott Thomas. I think, I love that these seasoned actors are like, yeah, I'm going to make a movie. But it's like, what are you saying and why? And how... I like her a lot. And she's assembled 3 lovely ladies to play her daughters in the movie. And it's partially based on her own life because her father was in the Navy or the Air Force and died. And then her stepfather right after that also died quickly after that. So that's kind of the plot mechanism in this mother in the movie is getting married now for the 3rd time. And there's some various... I thought quite dull identity issues based on surnames in this. But the daughters are played by Emily Beecham, Sienna Miller, and Scarlett Johansson doing a British accent that I could have done without, who's also a lesbian having a troubled relationship with Frida Pinto, which I didn't buy for one GD second. It's just fine, but I thought it was so blah and corny. And I was actually quite disappointed. I thought it was bad. Sorry. When it premiered at TIFF, it was called North Star.
Next, The Occupant.
It's directed by Hugo Kaiser. This sounded good. I briefly tried to, because I didn't get any emails from any publicists about it. And I briefly thought I'd try to get a screener for it, and we just had a packed week. But it sounds interesting. It's a thriller, and it stars Ella Balinska, who you might remember as one of the Charlie's Angels in the Elizabeth Banks film.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's something happens where I think a woman's alone with some creature or unknown thing terrorizing her, as the title would suggest. But yeah.
I just saw that Rotten Tomatoes has put The New War of the Worlds on their list of 100 worst films of all time.
Oh my God.
But we have a review for The New War of the Worlds if people want to check that
Which
out.
we almost didn't watch. Actually, we watched that instead of My Mother's Wedding yesterday.
Well,
that's why.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't make time for Kristen.
Okay. Projects of interest. Is there... Oh, the new Frankenstein.
No, that's not the Guillermo del Toro one. That's done and about to premiere in Venice.
Oh, okay.
I'll be seeing that in like 2 weeks. And it's long. So Radu Judah, Romanian director who I quite like. I think I still have yet to make you watch a Radu Judah film, but there are a couple I think that you might really dig, such as Bad Luck Banging or Looney Porn, which he won Berlin for in 2020. He is quite prolific. He had a film that Continental 25 that I reviewed out of Berlin this year that I also really liked. And he's got a film that's premiering this week in Locarno, which is kind of his gonzo weirdo version of Dracula. So apparently he has just announced that he has tapped Sebastian Stan, who's also Romanian, to make this Frankenstein project, which he describes as that it's beginning with the reality of CIA black sites on Romanian soil from 20 years ago and merging it with another cinematic myth, the Frankenstein monster. So that sounds insane to me and also quite interesting.
There's a new Heidi Fleiss movie coming.
Aubrey Plaza is going to play Heidi Fleiss in a project directed by Leah Chambers, who I'm unfamiliar with. But Aubrey as Heidi, yes, yes, yes.
Object,
directed by Anne Oren. So Anne Oren had a film a couple years ago, 2022, called Piaf, Piaffe, no relation to Edith, about a woman who starts turning into a creature with a horse tail. And I reviewed that and I gave it very high marks. I quite liked it. And it made me go off on a tangent about, there's actually quite a few films out there about women turning into horses or having like weird sex things with horses. Anyway, she's announced a new project. It's called a fetish feature. Georg Friedrich, a piano teacher and Great Freedom, is part of the cast. But I just want to read you the synopsis because this sounds insane to me. Ingeborg and Adam live and work together as hand surgeons. Ingeborg is a kleptomaniac. During a fit, she hurts her ankle and gets a walking aid. As she becomes attached to her new sensitive body part, the envious Adam finds his own object of desire. While they explore their objectophilias, the mysterious Gaia begins working for them. She has unusually wild armpit hair, and she uses dried mushrooms to soak up her sweat. Gradually, she lures the couple into a surreal dialogue with nature. The title refers to Lacan's psychoanalytic theory of an unattainable object of desire, specifically a projection or reflection of the ego. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Let me watch that now.
Lastly, Hotspot.
Yes. So Agnieszka Smoczynska, a newish Polish auteur. I got a lot of attention for her debut called The Lure. At Sundance, which is on Criterion. Her follow-up Fugue, I didn't love as much. I saw that in Cannes. And I didn't love The Silent Twins either. And I read the book that was based on. It was just fine. Anyway, she has a new thing that sounds good. It's called Hotspot. It's, I think, written by the guy that wrote The Lure with her, but it's set in a dystopian future when the world is ruled by a global AI system which keeps everybody in check. When a detective, played by Noomi Rapace, is summoned to investigate a ritual murder that occurred at a refugee camp, he encounters a woman who is a witch that has the ability to hack the ruling system of control. But the more he gets involved in this relationship, the more he endangers his loved ones. Doesn't that sound good? Hotspot. Cute title for a wicked, wicked synopsis.
Moving on. Have you read this before? In a 2021 interview, Stephen King revealed that his wife Tabitha King once threatened to divorce him over his nonstop listening to Lou Bega's 1990 hit Mambo No. 5.
You know what? I think I remember him saying that.
And that he was listening to the extended version on repeat while working on writing something called 11/22/63.
Oh, yeah. Which I haven't seen the series that spawned. He's a little weirdo.
I can see how
you had Double Toasted's review of Sleepwalkers. I love Sleepwalkers. Love that movie. But they kept talking about how coked out Stephen King was, which I guess eluded me. Maybe it makes sense. I can't imagine him doing that to himself. But Tabitha is an author as well.
I didn't know that, but I just read it.
I've read a couple things. I was in elementary school and I was reading Stephen and wife Tabitha's novels, and they have a daughter who's a lesbian, I believe. That's what I know.
This past week on Patreon, we reviewed part 2 of Andy Warhol, the documentary film.
Yes.
So people can give us money to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there are entries in the obituary section. So Jonathan Kaplan, an American film director, died.
Yeah, Jonathan Kaplan's notable. His best known film is probably The Accused with Jodie Foster, who won her first Oscar over Sigourney Weaver for Gorillas in the Mist. And he had a decent stretch in the 90s as well. I've been wanting to rewatch forever Love Field with Michelle Pfeiffer in one of her Oscar-nominated performances. She plays a woman obsessed with Jackie Kennedy, and she has designs to attend JFK's funeral, and then she has a relationship with this black man played by Dennis Haysbert, but it's the 60s, so it's very, Taboo. But I remember liking that film. He also did Bad Girls, which is like a revisionist Western, who I remember has a crazy weird cast, but like Madeline Stowe and Annie McDowell and I think Drew Barrymore. My dad always made fun of that movie because I think he thought it was terrible, but I've never seen it. And I guess I need to make an effort to do so. But yes, Jonathan Kaplan is no longer.
And then Loni Anderson died. She was an actress. I know her from WKRP Cincinnati. And then also, I think she was, her relationship with Burt Reynolds was.
Well, that divorce was quite scandalous.
And then I was trying to find, and I don't think it's in her IMDb credits because I was looking before we pressed record. No, still haven't found it. She's in a gay movie playing it's like the most low budget straight to DVD movie I'd ever seen. And she plays, I believe it's like a gay couple and one might be a serial killer. And
what?
She's the mom of one of them. I spent like 15 minutes trying to find it and I couldn't. So I don't know if I'm making this up in my head. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please help me. But I wanted to read. So apparently there's some person on IMDb who likes to write people's mini biographies, Gary Brumberg, and he even gives his email address all over these. But he's written several biographies for actors who have died. And the one he wrote for Loni Anderson, it's quite long, so I can't read it all, but he's clearly a fan of hers and thinks that she's beautiful. I'm going to read the part of the first paragraph. A bodacious, bedimpled, pert-nosed, well-endowed knockout, Loni Anderson earned an assured television sex symbol pedestal during the late 1970s and early 80s. As sexy but smart Jennifer Marlowe on the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati, the ravishing star later became a soap-styled fixture in many movies. And then just constantly referring to her as sexy, how alluring she is. She appeared lusciously alongside, these adjectives are used, that she's equally as sexy as her Wonder Woman co-star Linda Carter.
If only Bert had felt the same way.
Yeah. But, well, who knows? Maybe he did and she drove his ass crazy.
I mean,
seasons change, people change.
You don't know how people are when you live until you live with them.
But she was 79.
You know what I would have always wanted to watch with her, and we'll touch upon this actually in the movies we watch for fun, recording today as well. She played Jane Mansfield. Opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mickey Hargitay. In a TV movie. And apparently it's not really true to reality, I've heard, but I've always wanted to watch that and haven't seen it.
Well, goodbye to these people. Okay, the secret film this week was your choice. And you chose a doozy. You chose the 1985 American sword and sorcery epic, Red Sonja. Directed by Richard Fleischer, it stars Brigitte Nielsen and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Although if you ask him, he didn't realize he was going to be starring in this movie.
He didn't realize,
which we'll get to. Why did you choose this film?
Well, because there's a remake that comes out, I think, theatrically for one night only next Wednesday, and we have a screener and we're going to watch it. And I've never seen the original. My first choice for this week's secret screening was going to be an Olivier Assayas film that I've been dying to rewatch in preparation for Venice, because he has a new film there. But I felt this was probably this would behoove us considering what's on deck for this week. And I really do like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I've never seen this film, and I've always been curious about it. And now my parents also really liked Arnold, and it was a bad sign if there were Arnold films they didn't want to watch because they were very forgiving towards him. And this was something my dad never wanted to put on.
The basic story: the fearless warrior Red Sonja sets out to avenge her family's murder and rid her kingdom from the tyrannical rule of evil Queen Gedrin. Okay.
Well, so this was directed by Richard Fleischer. This is actually our third podcast about a Richard Fleischer film.
So what are the others?
Mandingo
Oh.
and Ashanti.
What? Mandingo and Ashanti.
You remember Ashanti with Beverly Johnson?
Yeah.
And Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
The one that Michael Caine says is the most embarrassing thing he's ever done. So these three together would suggest to you that Richard Fleischer was a terrible filmmaker. He had some great stuff in there. I love The New Centurions with George C. Scott. Soylent Green is fun, stupid. I mean, he was directing stuff since the 40s, so he was an old man by the time he did this. And this is his penultimate film. And right before it, he did Conan the Destroyer, which we need to touch on. But I think he's a better director than these three films would otherwise tell you.
Oh, what did I like about this movie? You know, it's the production is better than the film.
Oh, for sure. If you're just looking at it, you're like, why doesn't this feel like Willow?
Yeah.
Or what else did you reference that was of this period? I don't know. But yeah, it looks like it should have that feeling, and it does not.
And I think Red Sonja is a Marvel character.
Apparently, this is the first technical Marvel adaptation.
And I can see why this character is appealing, because she is this, kick-ass woman who we come to find out has taken a vow not to lay with a man unless he can beat her in a fight. So, I think that this 1985 film was doomed from the start, because I don't think they were prepared to show Red Sonja in the sort of empowering light that maybe the comics did. And of course, I'm not familiar with what the comics did, but I'm looking forward to the new film because I'm hoping that it has that energy. Because in this film, which I guess we can talk about now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who you'll get into it more, but he understood that he was just making a cameo. He ends up kind of being her savior. And so it just kind of negates the whole, in my mind, just watching this film and understanding who she is, it kind of negates her character entirely. I
knew we were in trouble from the opening credits because he has top billing. Granted, this is introducing Brigitte, right? This is the same year she did Rocky IV, and she won a Razzie for Worst Newcomer for the pair of these films. And I believe, she married Stallone, and apparently she had an affair with Schwarzenegger, who I think was already married to Maria Shriver by then, because apparently Maria Shriver made famous comments at the premiere of this where she told Arnold if he can survive this film, nothing will destroy his career or something. But yeah, he has top billing, which seems crazy. And he's basically playing Conan again. He just worked with Fleischer in this, and his name is what again? Like Caladan. It's because Calidor. Oh, that's the producer. Dino De Laurentiis didn't have the rights to Conan, so that's why they did that. Even though it's so obvious that they're doing Conan, and then apparently Schwarzenegger was so unhappy with kind of how that all played out because they shot a bunch of footage. It appears that he's in the film more than he was really, acting in the film. And apparently that he parted ways with De Laurentiis. But you said this reminded you of the original Dune, the David Lynch film, and how it looks and feels, which is also Dino De Laurentiis. Okay, the story is that an actor named Sandal Bergman, who I'm not familiar with. She strangely played Arnold's love interest in the previous Conan film. She looked exactly to me like the lady Margot Kidder. Yeah, Margot Kidder. She was giving me a little Angelica Houston, and I even thought the drag queen Anitra. Oh yeah, you said that. Okay, so anyway, she plays Queen Gedrin, the villain. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of the film, we see Queen Gedrin captures a bunch of priestesses, like these beautiful ladies in all white. And she captures them because they possess something called the talisman, which is like this orb that glows and it gives whomever has possession of it power.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
But yeah, it's either fungus or has a heavy viral load of something.
So, of course, Queen Gedren wants it so she can rule the land.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the priestesses gets away.
Varna.
To try to give notice to her sister, Red Sonia, played by Brigitte Nielsen.
But Varna also has red hair. Why isn't she called Red Varna? It's also giving me communist vibes with all that Red Sonia.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Calidor. What did I say?
Calidor. Yeah.
And he is kind of like the keeper of the talisman, which again is like these women are supposed to be. Somehow this story still makes the women seem like helpless, but
because the priestess at the beginning is like, "Where's Calidor? He should be here for this destruction ceremony."
Because I was hoping it'd be more like wherever Wonder Woman comes from,
DC.
No, like
Washington.
No, like whatever.
Oh, her isn't that Atlantic?
Like her people. Like I was hoping that it would be more like that. Like all these women are warriors, and it's all female.
Amazonians, yes.
Okay, but the sister dies before she can get to Brigitte, Red Sonia.
Well, with her dying breath.
Yeah, she tells her, what happened is someone took the talisman. You need to go find it. So that's the bulk of the movie. Is Red Sonia has to go on this adventure to get to Queen Gedren. But Arnold Schwarzenegger immediately wants to tag along. And this is where the plot gets wonky, because it seems like Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't intended to be part of her corral.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels really disjointed when he pops up, but basically he only pops up to save her in like 3 or 4 scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
But Red Sonia's main companion during this journey to go find Queen Gedren is this really annoying prince named Tarn, played by this little kid.
Ernie Reyes Jr., who I kept thinking, were they trying to repeat the success of Ke Huy Quan as Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
And then that little prince has a keeper.
Falcon, played by Paul L. Smith, who I thought looked just like Mistress Isabel Brooks.
And I guess they're supposed to be comedic relief. I thought that kid was so annoying and grating.
I wanted him to die so badly. Yes.
So they go on this trek, and every time they get every time, there are like 2 instances where they kind of get hemmed up, and that's when Arnold Schwarzenegger pops up and saves the day. But they finally make it to Queen Gedren's lair. And there's a confrontation,
which is like an unstable isotope universe because of the talisman. It's like she's on this bed or altar and everything's shaking and there's dust falling.
And even her main counsel, who's that actor?
Oh, that was blowing my mind. Akil, played by Ronald Lacey. Because I'm like, who is that? That, as a child, Ronald Lacey's face in Raiders of the Lost Ark is burned into my mind as that evil Nazi with the glasses. I would not have recognized him if I hadn't looked it up in Red Sonia. He looks, when I look closer, it's definitely him, but I would never guessed that in a million years.
So Ronald Lacey as Queen Gedren's advisor is like, bitch, can't you see that this talisman is destroying everything? Like, it's too powerful. Because I think one cool design element is that I guess the talisman gets power from light. Mm-hmm. So she has like 1 million candles burning. And he's telling her, like, you need to blow some of these candles out. It's too much power. Like, everything's going to just be torn up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not listening. And so, of course, this, like you said, her little lair is really unstable. And that's when Red Sonja's meek ass shows up, and then they have a battle, and of course Red Sonja wins, and she throws Queen Gedrin into the pits of hell, like Earth's core, like molten lava.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's lava. The floor is lava.
The floor is lava, and then she also throws the talisman in there, which I don't know if that made sense, but because her people were holding the talisman, can't she just take it back? But anyway, all's well that ends well.
Well, yeah, they were putting in what seemed like a archaic garbage compactor.
So this movie should be fun, but what doesn't work is
Brigitte.
Oh, poor Brigitte. So she's obviously a tall drink of water.
Beautiful woman.
But she's so flat. And, I'm sure she was working as a model, but she is not in fighting form. She looks so awkward in her little costume. Like, she does not look like a strong woman.
It was kind of giving, we were talking about it after we watched it, Barbarella, like Jane Fonda and Barbarella seemed uncomfortable in that movie in similar ways. Everything's real stiff.
I agree. It seems like she was very unsure about what she was doing. And that's maybe not entirely her fault. I'm sure based on Arnold Schwarzenegger's experience on the film, I'm assuming that she was just kind of like, she took this role and then was just forced to do what she was told to do. But she looks very uncomfortable. She's not very commanding, even like, because I kept thinking her acting. So the problem is, the physical acting from her is very flat, and then everyone's dubbed, and the dubbing is terrible.
Well, she's Danish, so her English is interesting. It's funny watching her and Barna. It's like, where did you get those opposing accents, ladies? It was, remember, which Lars von Trier did that with Kirsten Dunst and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Those ladies have wildly different accents.
Well, then I was thinking Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's only like a notch above Brigitte Nielsen. Like Gal Gadot's acting is not that great either. But I think, Gal is more.
In the first Wonder Woman, isn't it Gal Gadot?
We say this every time, and I don't know, so I'm just going to call her Gal. Yeah, the first Wonder Woman's better than the second one, but I think Gal benefits from having more confident body language.
And Patty Jenkins, I think, knew what to do with the material as opposed to like a Richard Fleischer.
But I don't even think if the audio were better, if the script were a little better, I still think Brigitte would come across as the wrong fit for this role.
I read that Sigourney Weaver was considered for this, but she would have passed. If she read the script, I bet she was like, oh, no.
Well, the trivia that I found said that the lady who played Queen Gedrin,
Sandal Bergman,
that she was originally
cast as
who played the heroine Valeria in Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
That she was cast as Queen Gedrin, but she turned it down and then agreed to play the villain. Who
is actually the best part of this, and
she is the best part.
Underutilized. Yeah.
So I mean, the titular character is not well done, and then I think there are so many examples of this style of story, like adventure fantasy, like they go on this journey to ultimately find what they were looking for
and conquer evil.
Right. And so it's a formula we all like, and I feel like it shouldn't be that hard, but in this instance, it's like, you make her travel companions, this ragtag group of people. First of all, it's not really that ragtag. You have this stupid little prince and his handler, and then this muscle-bound man who pops in every now and again. It doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel fun. Like I didn't really care what they were up to.
And I think that there was something because it's based on an old short story and then a Marvel comic, but which I am unfamiliar with any of the source material, but based on the very minor research, including a Wikipedia page that seems like somebody needs to go rewrite that. I think the source material is much more perverse because I think Queen Gedrin and her lesbianism has been excised, and probably several other sexual components.
Okay. The film was a flop. It made a fraction of the budget. And then, of course, it was widely panned by critics,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for the underwhelming performances. And then you already mentioned that Arnold Schwarzenegger, he himself called this one of his worst roles.
Didn't he say he's told some story about how he
would make his children watch it repeatedly as punishment? Leonard Maltin said it was spectacularly dumb. I don't think the movie's dumb as much as it is just boring. I feel like it's unfair to call it dumb because there's so many movies with the same formula.
I think what you mentioned right after we watched it is an important contextual tidbit, is that this is the mid 80s. The source material is about a powerful woman, a community of women that don't need men, and with men controlling Hollywood, there was no way that this story was going to be successfully made,
crafted. Yeah, because we just weren't ready to not have women in these kind of movies be overly sexualized. I just can't believe that this I can't remember his name.
Calidor.
This Calidor character keeps popping up to save Red Sonja. Like, it just seems like that doesn't even make sense.
Especially in ways that are just like, wait, she hasn't exhibited failure yet.
Right. She hasn't been defeated. Why do you need to come in and help her? Just based off of that, this story didn't stand a chance.
Two of the action scenes I think are interesting. One probably giving us what we really need from this kind of material, which is that mechanical sea serpent.
I think we have the same scenes in mind. So yeah, I think the best scene is this. The entire group, well, actually not the entire group, it's just Red Sonja, the prince, and his handler are in this like underground cave that has like a body of water, and I thought it looked really good. And then all of a sudden this robotic serpent starts attacking them, and then out of Norway, Norwood Young pops up. No, out of nowhere, Arnold Schwarzenegger pops up and like defeats the dragon. And then Red Sonja, he's telling Red Sonja, you gotta pop its eyes out. So she pops its eyes out, and then for like 2 minutes straight, this thing is like rolling and screaming. I thought that was really good.
Like Daryl Hannah.
And then I'm assuming the other scene you're talking about is when she meets that one king who wants her to pay him in sex.
Well, she is Breitog, played by Pat Roach, who she has to go through his land, who's also an Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark alumnus. Very memorable scene he has in that. But she has to pass through his shortcut, and he's got this big gate guarding, and he's like, oh, the women that come here that want to pass, they basically have to pay me with sexual favors. And she's like, how about I just kill you?
Yeah.
And she's like, but you have to promise that your men, once I kill you, they're going to let me pass. And of course they promise, and then renege on that promise. And while she's battling them, Arnold shows up
to help her escape.
And then he's shouting shit like, hold on, Sonia. It's like, she is doing okay.
Okay, let me get through my notes. Okay, I thought Red Sonja looked like, Red Sonja's sister. I thought Red Sonja's sister Varna looked like Nicole Page Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, so that's so funny because she looked to me, I can see that. She also looked to me like this actress I really like called Alina Lowensohn. I'm trying to think if you've seen her in anything, but yeah, she has that same kind of look.
We've already talked about the new War of the Worlds, but I thought the lightning effects in this film look better than in the new War of the Worlds.
I agree.
Because there's a scene where we see a lightning storm in this movie.
Oh, and then we've got Ennio Morricone did the score for this.
He also did the score for Conan the Barbarian. Is that true?
I mean, that like hundreds of film scores, but and I, after the opening credits, when I'm like, oh, it sounds like Morricone. I think I totally forgot about the score after that.
Breitog, who you just mentioned, I thought he looked like Zach Galifianakis. But okay, so it's that scene that I liked, not only because of what was happening, like him saying you're gonna have to because that's what I thought was exciting. This is what I wanted this movie to be, that these gross men are gonna try to take advantage of this woman, not knowing that she's kick-ass and she's gonna kill all of them. That's the energy I wanted, and we really don't get that. The only time we get it, I think, in the capacity I wanted, is the scene with Breitog. And he so when she threatens him, he says something like, I forget what he says. So I'm like, oh, bitch, you can't see me. And she goes, I don't need eyes to find you. I can smell you at 100 paces.
Right.
And it was like, oh, that kind of dialogue is what I think this entire movie should have been.
I agree.
Like this very confident woman who puts all these men in their places. Alas, that is not what we got.
Nope.
There is a funny moment when some random bad guy captures Prince Tarn, and he and his people are like torturing Prince Tarn by like they have rope tied to all his limbs and they're stretching him out
like Braveheart.
And I really wanted them to just rip that kid in half.
I was like, oh yeah, this is a great death for this little kid.
Whenever I see movies from like the late 80s and earlier, and you see a million candles, all I can ever think about is who lit all those candles.
Exactly. Well, those didn't look like lit candles because it's really windy in there and they are not blowing out.
Well, yeah, but then it's like, well, what else could they have been? Like, did they have those? Because we have fake candles in the living room.
We do.
But they didn't have those in like 1985, did they?
I don't know.
I don't know. At one point, we see Queen Gedrin. She has a big pet spider. I thought that looked kind of cool.
That reminded me of Dune because doesn't the Harkonnens they have that big weird creature? Because I remember Charlotte Rampling comes in there and she's like, "Make that thing go away! I'm not speaking in front of it."
So there's like a budding romance between Queen Sonia and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
God.
And he is clearly flirting with her and she is not checking for him at all. And finally, you know, she warms up to him when she sees that he's honorable and he can fight.
Mm-hmm.
So at a point, she recognizes like, oh, he wants to sleep with me. So she tells him that she made a vow that she will not lay with a man unless he can beat her in a fight. And then we get this extended fight scene that was kind of exhausting. And even Prince Tarn and his assistant are watching the fight, and even they get tired. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't they like start yawning and lay down?
Yep. They're like, why is she trying so hard? You know, she doesn't want to win.
That is insane. Like whoever wrote this, like you literally wrote in a boring scene. Like, why would you do that? And then we never see them sleep together. But
they do kiss at the end. But I think there's a significant trauma behind that vow that this film is not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If people try to read the Wikipedia entry for this film, I don't think the plot summary is accurate because the plot summary says that Queen Gedrin had her soldiers gang rape Red Sonja and murder her parents and her brother.
Because she would not submit to Queen Gedrin's advances.
So then they're saying that Queen Gedrin is a lesbian. That is not in this movie. She does say something towards like the middle part, Queen Gedrin, that I said, oh, is she supposed to be a lesbian?
Lesbianic, yes.
But yeah, this whole like sexual assault, parental murder, lesbianic shit, I didn't get that from the beginning of this film. So that must be from the comic books.
Probably because they thought that would be, and rightly so, that would have been read as problematic.
But, comic book fans love to try to give you context and quote canon, and it's like, no. I watched this 89-minute movie, and that was not in there. So I don't want you trying to tell me what I missed. That was not in the movie.
The only canon I want is Cole canon.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm. So the vow that she took, but oh god, that as like 2 minutes into that fight scene, I'm like, you know what, this film does not need right now? This.
Okay, I only have a couple more notes. So an important plot point about the talisman is that we're told only women can touch it, but we don't do anything with that. Again,
no,
it's like, why would I expect from a male director in 1985 to like actually show women in a more powerful light? But it's just like,
why is Calidor a man with a penis?
The
keeper of the talisman.
The keeper of the talisman.
If he can't even touch it.
Well, maybe it's so that they know he wouldn't be able to steal it because he can't touch it.
Well, what is he doing? Rolling it around with a rake?
Well, remember they have it in that cage.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. My final note regarding the film is at the end, Red Sonja is like walking away with Prince Tarn and his handler, and Prince Tarn he's the Prince of Hoblock, I think. Hoblock. And at the end, when they're all like leaving Queen Gedrin's destroyed palace, she tells them, Hoblock is over there. Yes, bitch, we're from
We're
there.
from there.
We know we're. I just thought that was the cherry on top of this awful
that
screenplay.
Red Sonja is mansplaining. Did you like her training in the beginning, which is very reminiscent of Kill Bill? And they get her to pick out a sword, and it's like, oh, she needs a Hattori Hanzo sword.
Yeah. And then I think you mentioned all the fun facts I had.
Are they fun?
I mean,
we didn't. Again, so since we did like the look of it, it was lensed by Giuseppe Rotunno, an Italian who was a cinematographer on so many great things, including Visconti's The Leopard, several Fellini films, all that jazz, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I can't even think of it. Yeah, a lot of Fellini stuff though. But so the look of the film is great. It's just that nothing else at all really works in this.
What would you give Red Sonja?
I'm giving it 1.5. And you know what? I wasn't looking forward to the remake even before this, but now I am, because we can only go up from here. Oh, you know what? About the remake, they've been trying to remake this for years and years and years, right? And I remember after Planet Terror, because Rose McGowan was dating, what's his name that directed it? Robert Rodriguez. They were going to remake this together, and she was going to be Red Sonja. And actually, watching Brigitte in the film, I could have seen Rose McGowan doing that.
Yeah,
and I'm actually quite unfamiliar with most of Brigitte's filmography outside of Cobra. She has some doozies in there that I feel like I cannot wait to catch up with. There's a film she did in 1988 called Domino. You should look at the poster for that.
Do you know what year it is?
1988. Let me read you this description. A girl in the video industry travels with a jeweled turtle and makes Billie Holiday videos. Though having relations with some of her friends, she is looking for love. She begins getting calls from a stranger who tells her not to worry, that he'll watch over her. But when she wants to meet him, he does not show up. That's the synopsis. That sounds like I need to see it. She was also in something called Chained Heat 2, which sounds like it's bastardizing, a famous women in prison film from the 70s. But she plays, it's about an innocent woman sent to a Czech prison where the sadistic warden and guards rape and perform bizarre sex acts on the prisoners. I need to watch this.
The poster for Domino looks cool. Also, Brigitte's current IMDb photo looks like a cartoon.
Well, who's this? Is it Pete Burns? Why can I never remember his name? From Dead or Alive?
Oh no, I just got lost.
Pete Burns, yeah, that's his name. She looks like Pete Burns in that IMDb photo. I'm sorry.
Did I get my score? I don't think so. Well, I would give this film 1.5 out of 5.
Okay.
It doesn't work, and it's kind of a slog. I am looking forward to watching the new one just to compare, and I hope that we get more of like the kick-ass women shitting on the men. Although I watched the trailer, everyone's a little too attractive, which concerns me a little bit. But
yeah, the lead is Matilda Lutz, she's French, I think. We reviewed her in that Michel Hazanavicius film, Coupe. The film where it's about the zombie film within the zombie film, kind of. Do you remember that?
No.
Final
Cut. Yeah.
And that funny looking Japanese lady. It's a remake of a Japanese film. And she's also in Coralie Farge's first film, the lady who did The Substance. It's called Revenge from 2017, which is actually a pretty good B movie. If you like Substance and haven't seen Farge's earlier film, that's recommended. But Matilda Lutz was the lead in that.
All done?
Yeah.
Okay. We're recording this on what would have been Whitney Houston's 62nd birthday.
Oh.
Do you have some favorite Whitney Houston songs?
Yes.
Well, while you think, just off the top of my head, I know that like If I Have Nothing from the Bodyguard soundtrack comes on. And then, of course, like her 80s ballads, like Didn't We Almost Have It All? Where Do Broken Hearts Go? I love those.
My all-time favorite of hers is How Will I Know?
Yeah, When I was younger, like when that song came out, I loved it.
Oh, that's a song I could listen to on repeat all day, really. But and sometimes I run to it. Yeah, and I love the music video for that song.
Her up-tempo stuff, I like Love Is a Contact Sport. I like I'm Every Woman. I even like off of her last album, she had that song $1 Million Bill.
Yeah, I mean,
there are several songs on her last album I quite liked.
I don't like the lyrical content. They're like really silly of some of those, but yeah, they're fun, and they always make me feel like I'm at the gay bar I need to be at when I hear them. And what was that song she did with Mariah from Prince of Egypt? That's actually a really good ballad.
When You Believe.
That's a really good ballad. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish she was still around. I think she would have made a wonderful like reality TV. I know she did reality TV with her then husband, Bobby Brown, but that was a train wreck.
Well, she was not in a good place.
No, she wasn't. But I would have loved to have seen her happy, healthy, and just being a diva, because she was so funny. Like there's so many compilation videos of her just like giving interviewers attitude. And
well, she would have been like Dion, I think. It's just like people rediscovered her as like this kind of funny older lady.
Yeah.
Like she deserved, like Lindsay Lohan cleaned up and looks happy and fresh and healthy. I think Whitney never really got to have that.
Well, she did, with her last album, she did come back looking great, and she got all those new teeth, and I was hopeful.
Yeah, but Sparkle was not it to be going at the swan song.
Well, but I think also, for some people, when like your calling card is this thing that you can't really do anymore.
Mariah.
Well, Whitney's voice wasn't where it was, and her final tour was critically panned because she just couldn't do what she needed to do. So I can imagine that's very difficult. But
yeah, did you? By the way, did you hear Mariah talking about? She was being asked about Katy Perry in space.
Yeah, and the interviewer said,
she goes, "Where'd she go?" And they're like, "Where'd she go?" "Oh, in just an orbit."
And then they go, "Would you ever consider going to space?" And Mariah said, "I've done enough." Okay. Next week, I know I'm watching some cartoon.
That we have to reschedule because I am going out of town. I think the night of that.
Okay, let me delete that.
Well, it's what is that scheduled for? The 14th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Minnesota. But there's a later press screening of that, but that is the highest grossing animated film of all time.
I still don't care, and it's Ninja 2. I don't even know Ninja 1.
I would have to watch
I'm not watching that.
Well, I would in preparation.
But maybe next week will be a lighter week. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, there's Nobody 2.
I didn't see Nobody 1.
It's pretty good. I think you'd like it. We have a couple things already in the can, but the new Spike Lee releases next week.
Oh yeah, we have a review for The Knife.
And we'll have a review for Red Sonja. I think we're watching something called Went Up the Hill with Vicky Creeps.
Are you reading anything?
I'm reading The Axe by Donald Westlake, and I've in preparation for the Park Chan-wook adaptation that's premiering in Venice, which is the second adaptation of that, which I think I've already talked about briefly. So yeah, that is what I'm doing right now.
Okay. All done?
There's a remake of Witchboard coming out, and I haven't received anything. Directed by Chuck Russell, who did The Mask with Jim Carrey and one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Well, I'm sure you'll write a strongly worded letter.
Okay.
Done? Ta-ta.